Alright everybody, welcome back for another Modern Warfare video. So pumped to be making another video for you guys, and today I wanted to kind of talk about which guns I enjoyed the most in the alpha, which guns I thought were the best, which ones kind of need changes, and I really enjoyed this alpha a lot, and I'm super pumped for the beta. So without further ado, let's get into these weapons and let's talk about them. So the first gun I wanted to talk about was the FR-556, because this gun, I just have a feeling it is going to be ridiculous in the beta and it's going to be good on launch. And I've seen multiple gameplays of people just destroying with this gun, and it's just a fantastic weapon. And if you're not familiar with burst weapons in Call of Duty, pretty much every year there's a burst weapon that is overpowered and other guns just straight up have a hard time competing with it. And the reason why I think that the FR-556 is going to shine in this game is because with the 20v20 and the 50v50 game modes, we're going to have larger maps with long lines of sight, and you're going to need to be more accurate. And what better way to be accurate besides a sniper rifle than to have a burst weapon that's going to one burst people? And this thing is basically the equivalent to the FAMAS in Modern Warfare 2. And I think this gun is probably going to be one of the best guns in the game, but only time will tell. We're going to have to wait and see. Alright, the next gun is the M4A1, and I really enjoyed this gun. It's got pretty good recoil, it's pretty easy to control, decent time to kill, and I think this weapon is going to be a pretty accurate weapon. Of course, it's kind of hard to tell because we played 2v2, the maps are pretty close quarters, but I guess you could watch YouTube gameplay when they got invited out. But yeah, overall I like this gun, and I think it is a well-rounded weapon that's going to serve kind of in multiple scenarios. I think it's going to be pretty good in close quarters, pretty good in medium, and pretty good in long range. I don't think it's going to be the best in any of those ranges. I think it's going to be probably the best in medium to long range, but I think it's a very well-rounded weapon, and I think that it's going to be a pretty good gun to use in this game. Alright, the next gun that I've got here is the M13, and the M13 felt very kind of similar to the M4A1. Just for some reason, it kind of felt it had a tighter pattern when shooting, so I think it could end up being slightly better than the M4A1, but of course things could change. I mean, this is only the alpha, they could change the way the guns work, but I thought this gun was solid and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Alright, and we got a big one here, a classic, the AK-47, and of course we've seen this gun quite a bit in Call of Duty, and in this game I do think that it's going to be strongest in medium kind of range, possibly even pretty good in short range. In long range you're going to struggle with this weapon though. The muzzle flash is so high, you can't sometimes really see your enemy that well, and I think that's going to be a problem at longer ranges, and the recoil might give you a bit of a problem. Again, I think it's going to be good in medium ranges, but I just think that there's many guns that are just going to outclass it in long range and short range. Next on the list we got Odin, and this one is an assault rifle, and it's got a slower kind of fire rate, and some people may have not liked it because of the slower fire rate, but I definitely do think it's got a place in this game for those longer ranges. Of course, I didn't get to test them at those longer ranges because this is the 2v2 alpha, but I definitely think it's got a place at those longer ranges. Then again, if the FAMAS equivalent ends up being super good in this game and people end up using that for long ranges, there might not be much of a point for this gun, but I think it's going to be a pretty good long range gun, and it seemed to work pretty well with the silencer, so maybe it'll just be one of those kind of stealth weapons. We're going to have to wait and see, but I overall like the Odin as well. And next we got the MP7, which I'm actually using right here, and the MP7 overall felt pretty good, but it didn't feel amazing. Like in Modern Warfare 3, the MP7 was pretty much like top notch. That and the ACR and the Type 95 were probably the three best guns in the game. It doesn't feel as good in this game, but then again, I didn't get to use a suppressor on it, which in Modern Warfare 3 I used a suppressor on it, and in this game I didn't get the chance, but it didn't feel as good as the Modern Warfare 3 MP7 in my opinion. On the other hand, the MP5 felt exactly pretty much like the COD 4 MP5, really well-rounded weapon. It's going to serve you well in close quarters, medium, and even in some long-range situations, it's going to do well. Felt good, unsuppressed and suppressed. I'm pretty sure I got to use both options. I might be wrong about that, but it felt really good as usual. And yeah, the MP5 is back, and I think this is the best we've seen the MP5 in quite a long time. Now we got to see a different variation of the AUG in this game. I didn't like it. I'm usually used to, seeing a burst assault rifle version of the AUG, and we saw a SMG version in the alpha, and it was just super inconsistent even at medium range. It was only decent at close range, and I think that thing needs a buff. Now the P90 I didn't get to use, but I'm sure the P90 is probably good like it usually is in most COD games. The AX-50 sniper rifle was fantastic. It was really good for quick scoping, really smooth. I found it pretty reliable, and I think that thing could end up being a really popular gun. The other sniper rifles I didn't get a chance to use though. Moving on to shotguns, the Model 680 was just inconsistent. I would shoot people at point blank and I get hit markers. I don't know what was wrong with that thing. Maybe it's a bug. 725 on the other hand was just a monster. That's what I'm using now, just jumping around corners, popping people off, and this thing was even reliable at pretty decent ranges, and I would suggest rocking this thing possibly when the game comes out, or in the beta. The LMGs, the L86, the M91, the MG34, I'm pretty sure they were all usable, and they were typical LMGs. They felt pretty good. For LMGs. LMGs a lot of the time don't feel good. They felt pretty good. I can see them being useful for pulling down choke points in the bigger game modes and just kind of spraying down. Now the M14, kind of usual kind of thing. I'm not a fan of semi-automatics. Not my thing. The Mark II, I didn't really like either. I found it pretty unreliable as well. Now for the pistols, the 50 GS I had a lot of fun with. Probably my favorite pistol to use. The Desert Eagle, I don't think that it was accessible. The M19 though was weak. That thing was shooting pellets. That thing needs a buff. It's probably the weakest gun that we had access to in the alpha. It just did not seem to work, and I don't recommend using that gun. But overall, I had a lot of fun with the guns in this game. The sound design, it's amazing. They sound realistic. They sound good. Probably had the most fun using the full auto assault rifles. I really enjoyed those. The M4A1 and the Odin and the M13 I really enjoyed. The FR556 I enjoyed that too, and I think that gun could end up being the go-to gun, just because with bigger maps it's going to serve well at longer ranges. But overall, the assault rifles were good. The FR56 was good. The 725 shotgun was monstrous. And then this 50 GS pistol I liked too. So that's kind of a quick summary of what I think about the guns in this game. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace.